Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 things we all hate about school. It may serve a purpose, but nobody really likes school. You either think it's alright, or you despise it. Well, here are the most relatable problems I'm sure we've all had when at school. Stay tuned and vote in the poll at the end for how many of these things you remember from school. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, and comment done when you've done this for a shout out at the end of our next video. Coming in at number 10, we have teachers bending. This is one funny thing I'm sure we all remember from school. When teachers help you out in class, this can be a good thing, as it means less work. But when they're helping somebody near you, it can get annoying and awkward. Have you ever had it when a teacher would lean over a desk beside you to help somebody out, and then, unbeknownst to them, their backside would be right in your face? This would be funny for everyone else in the class, but very awkward for you. This is something I'm sure all annoyed us, but it's not like we could just ask the teacher to stop, as that would be weird. Has this ever happened to you, and did you find it funny or awkward? Next up is rise and shine. Wake up, you gotta go to school. This was the #1 worst thing to hear from your mom in the morning. We all remember having to get up at crazy early times to get into school, and we likely hated it. But according to science, we were right to hate it. Brains actually aren't at their optimum performance until at least 4 hours after you've woken up. This means if you woke up at 6 to go to school, your brain won't be at its best until at least 10. And we all know that unfortunately, school does not start at 10. So next time your teacher's complaining about you being sleepy early in the morning, tell them this is the reason why. If you don't mind getting a detention, that is. Next up is health class. Health class does serve a purpose, but this doesn't change the fact that a lot of kids really don't like it. People don't hate it for the same reasons as hating algebra or science. Being difficult or boring, health class can just be plain awkward. Imagine being a young kid in a room with your friends who are boys and girls and having your teacher say some pretty uncomfortable stuff. This of course can be funny at times, but a lot of the time it's just weird. But it is useful as you learn vital things like where do babies come from? I still don't know. If any of you guys want to tell me in the comments, I really should have gone to school more. Next up is teacher's pet. This was the student nobody liked in class. And I'm not talking about the bully or the nerd. We all remember Randall from Recess. Well, he's an example of a teacher's pet. They would suck up to the teacher, and they would be the only one to actually put an apple on a teacher's desk. This is also the guy who nobody would do anything fun around because he would tell on you. That's right, the teacher's pet is the equivalent of a snitch in prison. Were you a teacher's pet, or did you despise teacher's pets as much as everyone else? Next up is bullies. These people were the worst, even worse than the teacher's pets. It may not have been an issue for you, but in every school there are bullies and people getting bullied. Whether it's something small like name calling or something serious like physically hurting somebody, these guys are not nice. Around 68% of school kids have been bullied by other students at school, but on the other hand, 41% of people admit to being bullies themselves. 68 plus 41 is 109, so it looks like some bullies may be getting bullied. Bullyception. Those percentages may sound high, but it's true, and bullying is apparently on the rise. And now with cell phones and social media, sometimes bullying can happen anywhere, not just at school. Some people say we're getting too sensitive, but others say bullying needs to stop. Were you ever bullied, or perhaps were you a bully? Next up is school lunch. This one doesn't actually apply to some countries. In countries like France and Japan, school lunches are awesome. But in the USA and many other countries, this is just not the case. We all know it's a joke that lunch ladies slop some random meat onto your tray then move you along. But while this may be a joke, it's also kind of true. Lunch ladies have a bit of a reputation for being rude, so that's no good. And if you're ever late and get stuck on a lane table, this can mean a 45-minute lunch break is totally wasted. In some schools, they actually ban kids from bringing in their own food from home. But not only that, some schools make sure you eat your school lunch and don't let you throw any away, even if you don't like it. One mom actually tried to sue a Texas high school over this back in 2016, but she lost. Now that may be going a little far, but I think we can all agree school lunches kinda suck. Next up is algebra. According to a study by a top college, algebra is the most hated class by high school students. You'll remember those long, lame equations, whether we found it easy or hard. But no matter how challenging it may or may not have been for you, everyone in class was thinking the same thing. What's the point? Algebra and math as a whole is yet another thing you might be right to have hated. Teachers always said, well, you won't always have a calculator with you. But thanks to phones, now of course we do. Sure, math is necessary if you were going into banking or rocket science, but you would have to study it at a higher level anyway to do that. Good thing my job only involves being able to count to 10, although I do still need a calculator for that. Next up is mean teachers. We've already covered mean students, but they have no authority.
Respect my authority!
Mean teachers, on the other hand, are one thing which can make your school experience miserable. Some teachers pick class favorites but are then really mean to other students. And in case you guys haven't seen, I've made videos on the worst teachers ever. For example, one teacher at a school in Florida had a class party. So one student brought in a cake and a cake knife. The teacher cuts the cake up but then suspends the kid for bringing in a cake knife. And one time, caught on camera, a teacher actually grabbed a student's phone and smashed it because it went off in class. Mean teachers sure are crazy. Have you ever had one? Next up, we have exams. This is one of the biggest causes of anxiety in teens. Teachers and the school system love getting kids worked up over exams. The dumbest thing about exams is that despite students as 16 or 18, they're making a choice which could affect their life for decades. And not only that, exams are usually just a memory game. I don't know about you, but as soon as I'd left my exams, I'd forgotten everything I'd written. Many experts say that in the future we won't have exams, and some way will be found to grade a student by their long-term classwork. For a lot of kids, this would be a good thing, as schools would finally mean something. But sorry, even the youngest people watching this may not get that experience. This is expected to happen in 20 years, so get studying for that memory test. Exam. Next up is homework. This has to be the #1 worst thing about school. Nobody likes homework, and whenever some guy says, "Wait a minute, you forgot to send us it," to the teacher, the whole class groans. In most states, teachers have to give out homework by law, and if they don't, they could get fired. Thanks to this, they usually set arbitrary homework, which is pretty much repeating what you did in class. Also, homework should not exist. Why bring work home? Experts say this is bad for kids as it removes any separation from work and home. Also, some lazy teachers don't even properly mark homework, which makes this terrible invention even worse. Check out the poll in the top right corner and vote for how many of these things you remember from school. And guys, definitely check out my brand new channel, The Crafty. Head over there now and watch some of the amazing craft videos. I think you guys are gonna love it, so please do subscribe and turn on notifications. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.